Hello everyone, I want to welcome you to the premiere edition of Square Gamers Presents, the podcast. I am Yuppiekin, the founder of Square Gamers and the leader of the Gamer Guild in War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I'm assuming you're with us because of that game. Some of the things that I want to get into today will include topics on LGBTQ spending, some of the summer units that we've seen released, and a little bit of everything else, all with a little bit of a gay twist on it. Before we get into that, I did want to go over the guild a little bit. We are the founding Gamers Guild in War of the Visions. We did begin on day one of launch. And if you want to join us in our discussion, down in the bottom right, you'll see a link to our Discord. We are always looking for new faces to come join us and join in on the fun. There is a little bit of something for everybody on the Discord server. We do cover more games than just War of the Visions, and we have a robust general chat. We would love to have you there. I did want to start out with some of the gaming related business from War of the Visions. We saw some of the summer units released this week after waiting for them probably since December, right? Yeah, everybody's been waiting for these units to drop. I believe Gumi waited a little bit too long to drop them. They're about 8 months behind now, almost. Who did we see released this week? I think the first one we saw was Summer Ketone. Yes, down there, Summer Ketone. Hello. The next unit that we saw released was Summer Lilith. Haha, there you are, Summer Lilith. No black modesty bars on you, huh? You're all out there, girl. Right after they dropped, we had some data miners post some more information that we were going to be seeing probably another unit, maybe two, drop in our near future. And then some eagle-eyed people in the game noticed that we're on part one of the Summer Festival. Are they calling it a festival this time? Hopefully not. We did get better deals this time than we did on the actual festival when Cezanne dropped. So, who did we hear about that may be coming next week? I think it's someone that we've all expected that would come. We just didn't think it would be this early. That would be Summer Kilfei, the Earth Mage herself. She is hanging up her Earth shoes to become a light element. And after that, we also saw that someone might have slipped in a little bit of accidental information. Who would that be? I do want to tell you, here at Square Gamers, we did get an exclusive. Someone from, now they did spell their name wrong, Gummy, Gummy. They sent me this picture and they said, do not share it with anyone. But it's my first podcast, so I said, you know what, I'm going to share it with you guys. They sent me the very first image of, you guessed it, Summer Elsorel. Now, some of you are going to be disappointed when you see her design. Look down there in the bottom left, you'll see. Her breasts were a little too big for the game, and she had pigtails. So, over here at the global market, they decided, hey, we need to put some modesty bars on her. For anyone that really cares, you can still see a little bit of her cleavage. You know, that black bar is not really that big. Her legs, they might have a little bit of a sarong on them. Straight guys, look that up if you don't know what that is. It's basically a little towel you tie around your bikini bottom. So overall, I think we're probably going to be pretty happy with those if we're waifu chasers. Hold on just a minute. I did want to spell out Square Gamers for you guys, in case you haven't realized yet, with all of the rainbow paraphernalia floating around. That is Gamers with a Y, Gaymer. So, these next few units are not very interesting to us. We do love our strong women, but we would like a fifth option, and that fifth option might look a little something like this. Swimsuit Engelbert. I want to go over a little bit of his design. He's got his characteristic red bandana in his hair. He's got the red Speedo to match his favorite color, and he's got a red volleyball. He's on the beach, and he's ready to go at it. We at Square Gamers are very excited. Wait. Never mind. We at Square Gamers are not very excited because we're not getting Swimsuit Engelbert. They picked the wrong E out of the hat this time. Sorry, Engelbert. Maybe next year. So while these girls enjoy their time on the beach, we are going to get into some news articles, starting with an Out.com story. This was done with the Nielsen survey. If anyone's familiar with that group, they might be calling you all the time asking you, hey, can you tell me some information? What do you do here? How do you like to play with your video games? How do you like to drive your car? Have you bought a car lately? Are you thinking about buying a car? What we saw in this article is that, on average, LGBTQ gamers spend more than their straight counterparts. We could look at this information and see that, on average month, the LGBTQ members are going to spend about $16.01 compared to their $14.78 cheapskate straight counterparts. Just kidding, straights. I really like you too. So, come on, guys, get off of your wallet. I spend more than that going to work every day. Obviously, from these statistics, they didn't interview any whales. No whales at all. If you're only spending $16.01 a month, then you're probably not getting very far in this game, right, guys? Right? So, what they also found is that what a lot of us gamers already knew, there is a thriving sub-community of us out there. Guys, we are out there and we do live amongst you. We play the same games that you do. We're just asking for a little bit of equal representation. Can we get that, please? Gummy, are you listening? Goomy? Sorry, I said your name wrong. Our wallet's open, man. So, what they found out with this survey is that 10% of the respondents over the age of 18 self-identified as LGBTQ. And 10% is about the average for what the United States says is the LGBTQ population. So, basically what they're saying is that anyone that's LGBTQ is also a gamer. Good job, guys. We have a corner on the market. Are you listening, Goomy? 10%. And lastly, part of this article does want to pat the gamers on their back. That's gamers with a Y. Sorry, straight guys. So, pat yourself on the back if you're a gamer with a Y. Looking at the last part of this article, we do see that they consider the LGBTQ community on the cutting edge. We are always on top of technology, never down. We all know how to use Twitter, right? Who doesn't know about hashtags? Who doesn't know about selfies? I'm taking a selfie right now. Moving into our next topic, this is a story that comes to us from the UK. This is regarding the gaming industry over there. This would be the people who work in the gaming industry, not the ones that play games, although they could play games. Who knows? We found a study that says 21% of the gaming industry over there, and that is the LGBT. Sorry, Qs, you're not included in this one. So 21% of the UK gaming industry self-identifies as LGBT+. I guess we can put the Q's in the plus area if you really have to. So, what does that say to us? If there is 21%, that's 1/5 of the UK's gaming industry self-identifies as LGBT+. Where's the representation? Where is the representation? Just say it. We're here. Our wallets are open. My wallet's open. I'm ready to give you some money, Goomy. And moving to our last article prepared for this podcast, this does come from the Nielsen company that we spoke about earlier with the Out.com story. It does state that the gaming community with a Y, guys, does like to gravitate towards social media platforms such as Twitch and Discord once they get out of their games. And I will tell you that the Discord community that we formed off of War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is one of the best communities that we probably have ever experienced. That does come from multiple members of the group telling us that. There have been a few guys that didn't get along with us. Let me see, I've been called a prick, never been called a dick. A motherfucker. Can't put that in there, we're going to edit that part out. And with that out of the way, I do have one last topic that I want to go over, and that is some of the money makers in the gacha industry. So, if you stop and think for a minute, and you want to say, hey, what's some husbando games? I thought of 4 for you. These numbers do come from Sensor Tower, so if they're wrong, let's go blame them, not me, please. So put down your pitchforks. So, let's start with Epic 7. For the month of June, we see that they raised an astounding $6 million. It's a lot of money. Next, we've got Seven Deadly Sins, Grand Cross. They raised $5 million for June. And now we're going to move into some of the whale territory. I'm assuming this next game is full of whales. Full of sperm whales. They can come over to our Discord anytime. The next game is Fate Grand Order. It made a whopping $20 million. Just in June. And finally, the big daddy of them all, they just had their big update, Genshin Impact. People's been waiting for that new continent for about 10 years now. They finally released it. That game in June of 2021 raked in $22 million just for June. Good for them. So, let's now move over to War of the Visions. How much did they bring in for June? According to Sensor Tower, War of the Visions brought in a mega grand total of $1 million. $1 million. So, while I'm not saying that these other games are making all of their money because of who they cater to, we do have to take into account that some of their game mechanics, some of the stuff they do in their game are keeping their players entertained, but at the same time, we also need to look at some of their character designs. They cater to more than just the waifu chasers. We've got a little bit of everything for everyone. Who does not remember Sez from Epic 7? He's got a bottom half of a wetsuit on, upper chest is bare, glistening in the sun. He might not be the best unit, but I think everyone that was chasing for him was satisfied. Seven Deadly Sins, if you've ever played that or watched the anime, it's on Netflix, look it up. You'll know it's home to one of the most famous undead cooks in the world, Bon. And what's so good about Bon? Maybe it's his cum gutters, maybe it's not. And for anyone that doesn't know what those are the V shape. If you look over at Summer Lilith, you'll sort of see where her bikini line's at. Just imagine those are cum gutters. So, this piece of information has been brought to you by Square Gamers. And if the big burly guys are not your thing, Genshin Impact surely has something for you. Whether it's going to be a tall, lanky guy, maybe a guy that's more on the feminine side. There's a little bit of everything for everybody in all of these games, whereas War of the Visions gave us who? Cezanne, and that came from the global team, who also gave us Dwayne. Come on, Japanese team, you're making most of these characters. All we're asking for is a little representation. Now my camera didn't freeze. I do want to go over some of the financials for the global mobile gaming market. Say that 10 times fast. The global mobile gaming market. In 2020, they were estimated to have made a staggering $98 billion. Just in the United States, they were estimated at $25.2 billion. So, if you think about that, 10% of the community self-identifies as LGBTQ. And if Gumi and Square Enix started catering to that community, they could get a big part of that 10% pie. And they're already getting a big part of my pie, but we love to be catered to. We love to feel like we are accepted and that you have our best interests in mind. It doesn't take much to make us happy. A lot of us do have sad beginning stories. So whenever someone takes the time out of their day to think of us and include us in something that we love, we will love you back a long time. Okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. I hope you enjoyed what we talked about. Leave some comments down in the bottom. Tell us what you thought. We'll get back with you. If you want to see anything else on these podcasts, let us know. Jump into our Discord. Like I said, it's posted down in the bottom right there. It will be in the description as well. Also, starting with the next podcast, I'm going to introduce you guys to your main host. Sorry, it's not me. So if you enjoyed me, I'll try to come back sometimes, but I won't be here for all of these. Your main host will be a cool guy named Jedi Kano. He's got a great accent. He seems to be pretty popular with the guys on the Discord server, and I think you're really going to enjoy him. So, until next time, this is Yuppiekin signing off. Have a gay day, guys.